me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.
Now, if you were to...
I mean, yes, I know. You all know what's coming. This guy is profoundly fucked up and weird. We are talking about the dude who sells diaper baby dolls of himself to children.
The Democrats have settled on what they hope will be the winning political strategy to carry them through to November. The strategy is this: call the opposition weird. That's it. Yes, the brain trust of the DNC came together and adopted a strategy first pioneered by the Mean Girl lunch table in middle school. The memo has...
No. I started this movement 6 years ago with intent, and I'm glad to have finally been proven right. Validated, if you will. I've actualized, self-actualized, and I feel seen. It's very nice. And the purpose being the same thing and the same reason everyone has always throughout history said that you should be mocking fascists and laughing at them. And honestly, profoundly just calling out the fact that, like, yes, for regular, everyday people, the shit that all the right and the far right are saying just comes across as profoundly weird, sick, perverse, and bizarrely obsessed. You know, it's like, to normies, I know that Ben Shapiro keeps saying it's like, they're the ones who are the weird ones. They're the ones who are basically putting giant trans titties in the White House. And it's like, see right there. Yeah, you didn't even last a minute. That right there, that's weird. That's weird for you to be so affected by that it's getting you like angry and worked up and sweaty and like, you know, I don't know what's going on here. But it's weird. It is very weird.
Gone out. Marching orders have been passed down. Call Trump, J.D. Vance, and all of their supporters weird.
Some of what he and his running mate are saying, well, it's just plain weird.
These guys are just weird. That's where they are.
As weird and creepy as J.D. Vance.
Yeah, see, I'll show you an example of it happening. This is it happening in real time for you all to see.
On my show today, I talked a little bit about the sort of weird slur and the fact that they're using this. Again, to me, this is all projection. They have trans influencers jiggling their fake breasts on the lawn of the White House.
Trans person, it's a woman who had her breast chopped off and decided to walk down the runway with a discarded pair of fake breasts in a clear bag, bloodied flesh, cut off.
Like, again, this kind of shit, it's not normal.
on the lawn of the White House, fake breasts on the jiggling their fake breasts on the lawn of the White House.
Weird.
Super weird idea from J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's quite weird. Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
Just plain weird.
That stuff is weird. They come across weird, and then they start being weird. Yeah, they're weird.
Being a really weird.
He's such a weirdo.
Donald Trump and his weirdo running mate are weird. Deeply and profoundly weird.
Well, you get the basic idea. So that was a supercut compiled by Grabian Media showing that the Harris campaign and its apparatchiks and the corporate media are, as always, reading from the same talking points. 2 days ago, you would never catch them calling anyone weird as a pejorative, and now they delight in saying it like a child who just learned a new cuss word on the playground. And that was just a very short snippet. I mean, articles in the mainstream outlets like Rolling Stone and USA Today are echoing the sentiment. AOC is tweeting about it. Yesterday, she insisted that Republican policies are, quote, an incel platform, dude. And she continued, quote, it's super weird. A Kamala Harris super PAC called Don't Pack Down just produced an attack ad hammering this point home, or trying to. The PAC tweeted the video with this caption, quote, these guys are just weird. And here's the ad, which itself can only be described as, well, deeply weird.
Us MAGA Republicans banned abortion, but that's just the start.
That's just the start.
If Trump gets elected...
I gotta be honest, when I saw this ad, I was like, I'm not used to this. What is this? This is good. This is a good campaign ad. It's true.
We want the government involved in all aspects of your sex life.
Way more involved.
Way more involved.
When you have sexual intercourse, it should be illegal to use contraception. No pills, no condoms.
Your genitals are reserved for procreation.
If you freeze 12 eggs, you should be required to have 12 babies, or else you're a serial killer. And I'm definitely not a serial killer.
Are you?
My son monitors my...
Also, imagine getting cast for this. I'm sure they're delightful, charming, wonderful, just like old men. You know, I'm sure they're all just the peaches. I'm sure they are. It's just really funny where they're like going, so what's this? What's the role? Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to that. Yeah, definitely. This one, yeah, he's real sick looking. Okay.
porn usage to make sure I'm not self-pleasuring.
Just like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. That's true, you can look it up.
Don't you think that's normal?
Yeah.
I know he does sound like Warmbo.
It's normal for your son to do that.
You should have a family member monitor your porn use too.
Because
by the way, that is true. And again, like, it's pretty wild that, like, you know, they're trying to run defense on so much of this now and basically being like, look, is it really that bad that JD Vance says that he likes the family and then thinks that more people should have children? Is that controversial? Sorry that, like, apparently, you know, you're getting, it's like, no one is shitting on people for being parents. You know, if you're going to be a parent, be a loving one. Look after your kids. We should give them resources so they can be the best parents they can be. We should not have to, like, worry about whether or not parents are going to go broke trying to raise children. You know, they should have access to healthcare, education, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that the right is always taking away or trying to erode because it's everyone should fend for themselves kind of shit. And yeah, that may result in less people wanting to have kids. But, like, when you leave this woke safe space, sorry, not woke, I actually, let's be honest, the weird safe space, then yeah, the rest of the world doesn't think like this. Again, you sound profoundly fucking repressed and horny and angry and racist and misogynistic, and, like, just all of that is it just oozes off of all of you.
pleasuring yourself is very, very naughty.
I'm voting in November.
I'm voting in November.
We're all voting in November. Are you?
Because what happens in your bedroom is up to me.
Is up to me and my son. Also, mouth stuff is a sin.
Now, if you were to...
I mean, yes, I know. You all know what's coming. This guy is profoundly fucked up and weird. We are talking about the dude who sells diaper baby dolls of himself to children. He markets them to children. Little plushy dolls of himself in a diaper. Like, this is so profoundly weird and fucked up. Yes, Matt, that was you. You were just watching a video of yourself doing weird ass shit. And by the way, they take this is no longer an available product. They have taken down the Sweet Baby plushie line. They've taken down the Sweet Baby Gang candles. Scented fucking candles. So gross. So weird.
Tell me that that was a right-wing parody of a left-wing portrayal of right-wingers, I would have believed you. But unfortunately, we live in a time when most parodies are unintentional. And of course, the irony here, as Peachy Keenan points out, is that those sweaty, weird guys in the video, in real life, are all voting for Kamala Harris. And that is, in general, the most obvious and necessary.
Is that a gotcha? Because they're not real pedophiles. But we got the pedophiles on lock. Those are our pedophiles. Hell yeah, we got the pedo vote.
And true response to this messaging pivot from Democrats. Now, yeah, we can note the hypocrisy of it. We can observe how these very same people have, up until this very moment, embraced weirdness as a virtue and strongly condemned anyone who used the word as a...
You're going to do it right now, aren't you? You all can't help yourselves. Just so you know, we're not weird, okay?
Pejorative. These are the people, after all, who live in cities like Austin and Portland, where the unofficial city motto printed on T-shirts and emblazoned in giant letters.
Oh, sorry, I gotta change channels here for a second.
Okay, go shirtless, go shirtless.
What do we got?
A lot of muscle in that ass, boy.
You don't want me to pull it out.
Yeah, I don't either. I really don't.
Elon, you're killing me. Basically, there's footage of Matt Walsh electrocuting one of his interns in the ass.
I think we should just go.
Look.
Go one of these fleshy areas. Pick one.
Hold on a second, hold on. Hear me out. For the comedy of it, and also because that will hurt the least, I think we should shock you in the ass.
Yeah, it's a real thing that happened. He electrocuted him in the ass. It wasn't for sexual pleasure. He's quite clear to emphasize
I don't like that idea, but I do like it shocking you in the ass. So get over here.
All right, you're not shocking my butt.
And
Let's just try it one.
Now, I don't know if this is going to be TOS, so I'm going to skip past it. That leads us to him. This is a different time, different video, judging Nazis. This guy's got a swastika on. It's been identified as the swastika tattooed on the back of him. So we have Nazi diaper wrestling and Matt Walsh judging it as two grown men in diapers fight each other.
Internay and we have Tater. They're going to be wrestling out here in the cold, in the mud, in diapers. And what's on the line now? If Tater...
Not weird enough, you say? Well, how about Article 3? Matt Walsh getting one of his employees to lick the inside of a dumpster beside a used condom.
It was kind of weird, but I enjoyed it. That was a real snake. The second one is to lick this dumpster, the inside. Now bring it coming around in the show. He's going to lick the inside of this dumpster. This dumpster has not been licked in years. So yeah.
Now, if this isn't bad enough, I'm not going to show it because it's definitely not TOS, but the camera pans over to the side, pans down, and there's a used condom. So, Matt, again, profoundly weird. Really, really weird. Like, holy shit, you were working through some stuff. And like it all starts to make sense. It all connects, right? Like, oh, is this the inspiration for him eventually wanting to be a diaper fetishist salesman who sells diaper fetish dolls to children, or at least attempts to until they took them down? I'm glad someone finally took action on this, by the way.
On murals is keep Austin weird, keep Portland weird. There's only one cell phone company that...
Who does this work? I know younger people aren't watching this and thinking that like he just got a massive ass burn by being so literal with it. Well, what about the fact that they have signs that say weird? Yeah, you weirdos. You don't understand. Weird. Pejorative. There's good weird. I'm weird as fuck, but there's good weird and there's evil weird, there's sick weird and there's fucked up weird, and you're all of those bad things, you know? You're the evil, the sick, the twisted, the fucking definitely working through some shit, my dude. That's you. That, again, weird as fuck, so very weird. But like, yeah, there's weirdos who are awesome. They're some of the most beautiful people you can meet, you know?
Gives you free premium access to
context
the media
context is key. All right, let's get back to his
the
stunning
people
defense.
calling Republicans weird are the same people who tell us that men can have babies. These are the people who insist on...
He can't stop himself. None of them can. You're always a minute or two about them talking about trans people. Again, it's just constantly on the brain, it seems, and the search, and the websites, and the tabs. Like, really, always, constantly talking about queer folk. All day, you know? And if you're not gay, if you're not trans, if you're not intersex, because if you're not asexual, if you're none of the above, this does not apply to you, you are really obsessed with those communities to the point where you want to actually govern, legislate, control their bodily autonomy, control their healthcare, control their genitals. That's weird. That's kind of just gross and fucked up, and like everyday people, yeah, they see that. They're like, yeah, that's just, I mean, come on. Billboard Chris, why are you standing outside of a children's hospital where there's kids in there who have suffered third-degree burns and are in excruciating pain, and as their parents are walking, you're holding a sign talking about how there's genital manipulation and mutilation, and they're cutting off penises. They're cutting off little boys' penises. Profoundly weird. Like, people walking by aren't like, whoa, the cause is righteous. No, they're like, what the fuck? Ew. Like, that's the story you'll talk about. You'll get home and then you'll be like, I just saw the weirdest fucking thing today. Some weird dude with a sign. He was talking about like boys' dicks. I don't know. Is he a pedophile? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he is just a brazen and proud pedophile. He's just walking around being a fucking pedophile on Maine. He's so proud of that fact. I don't know, but it was definitely weird. I was like, what the fuck is this dude doing? That's like, again, it's not at all that you're recruiting by this kind of shit. And when you leave the echo chamber, that's what happens. That's what happened to Trump today. Like, Donald Trump, all of a sudden he's trying to reach out to black voters. He doesn't know how profoundly sick and racist and weird all of the things that he has been saying in these little safe spaces is. In the weird safe space, all of them, they just feel like, okay, yeah, it's totally normal to talk about how you don't trust black pilots. No, it's not. That's a very weird and racist thing to say or think. Like, please get that out of your brain. Do you know how hard it is to become a pilot? You have picked a job in which you have to have so much specialized training and hours in so many different fields before you can even apply for the job. You happen to pick an example that's just so utterly absurd in terms of things in which we can measure. There are actual aptitude tests, ways of measuring whether a human being is capable of doing something. That happens to be one of those positions. Thousands and thousands and thousands of flight hours before you can even carry cargo, let alone human beings, all right? That's before you get to sit down and someone can be like, oh, what, you're black? Oh, Jiminy Jillikers, a black person. Yeah, we'll hire you right away. It's like, no. You're just racist. But again, you don't realize how weird you are because you're all stuck in this little chamber all
Having
day.
drag queens
Be
read
weird
to
to each
children,
other.
who demand that we put gay pornography in elementary school libraries, who walked around triple masked and quadruple vaxxed during COVID, who in some cases are still masked even today. These are the people who laid prostrate at the golden casket of a criminal drug addict who died in police custody in 2020 and demanded that our cities burn to avenge his death.
See, like, again, profoundly racist statement to just said out loud, to think, and then let alone want to broadcast, put into a show. And so you'd have to be in this weird ass fucking echo chamber all day to think this way and to say these things out loud and then assume that human beings beside you are going to be like, yes, I agree. But when you leave that, all of a sudden, it's like, no, what the fuck? What did you just say out loud?
People who insist that we refer to single individuals as they, who invented pronouns that don't even exist in the English language. And
Shakespeare used they, them frequently. Frequently. Yes, the Lord, the white Lord of poetry, Shakespeare. Honestly, it's just like, to obsess over pronouns, to be scared of rainbows, that's weird. Did you not see this yet? That's why, again, like, it's one of those moments where, when I was sitting across from Tim Pool and he's just like going off about like some random reality star's genital stimulation, all I can think in my head is like, do you not hear yourself? Because like normal people, they don't talk like this, all right? I have a lot of friends. I hang out in a lot of different groups. I mean, I'm in a lot of like political ideologies vary wildly between a lot of different friends. And no, people don't talk like this. No one does. Like, and then when they see it, they're like, what the fuck? I'm like, I know. It's profoundly weird. They're very weird, creepy, sexually obsessed people who want to police other people's like genital stimulation and pleasure and their reproductive health and their wombs and their menstrual cycles. And yeah, I know. And what's even scarier than that, the creepiest part about all this is they're also going to town on each other in the very ways they say are evil, are sinful, will send you to hell. They're also sucking and fucking in the gayest of ways, in secret. Yeah, true, in secret. That's happening behind the scenes, but Grindr, the servers are crashing. There is a lot of man love going down, you know, and then going down again. It is happening for sure. It's weird. If you look at the search history in a lot of the red states that want to pass all of these draconian anti-LGBTQ plus bills and legislation, they have the biggest sexual obsessions with trans people and LGBTQ plus searches. They're the ones who are just fucking going to town on their own genitals, jerking off to trans people, jerking off to gay people, jerking off to this shit. Like this, again, they are simultaneously on one end so sexually obsessed with these groups, but they also want to like eliminate them. It's like the super taboo. Oh my God, yes. The untouchables, but also I want to touch, I must touch kind of shit. And like, you see it for what it is if you just give them 5 minutes. Really, 5 minutes of talking, if you just let them open their mouths, and then all of a sudden, like, Megyn Kelly never used to be like this, right? She wasn't this weird. She was racist, sure. She was the person who was defending blackface, and that isn't really that big a deal. Sure, I'll grant you that. But she wasn't like the weird genital obsessed. That happened post the anti-trans turn. And then once she started feeding into that side of the algorithm and giving all that juicy content to the transphobes, going into the, the turf fucking route, then she started to get profoundly more and more weird. like the things that she would say. Now she's talking about how RuPaul's Drag Race is lined in the blood of operations from top surgeries and fucking human flesh of the sin. You're just, what the fuck? You know, it's like that hyper repressed Christian national sexual fucking strange, you know, just oozing out because so repressed, I need to repress others, it's my kink.
On and on and on and on. These are the people who want to throw around the weird label now. I mean, it's like having a 700-pound, severely obese guy in a motorized scooter roll up and call you a fat ass for eating too much broccoli. I mean,
oh, wow. And that's with a writer. You see, I do this show au naturel. You're watching improv, right? I'm just working off the old brain tube here, the brain goo. But yeah, no, that's someone sat down and put pen to paper, finger to keyboard, came up with that. And it was, yeah, oh yeah, that goes hard. Yeah, we got a good one here. That's fine. Yeah, we're gonna wreck shit. Yeah, fat person. Yeah, that's funny. Fat's funny.
Everything about that dynamic is backwards and confused. Actually, I take that back. Okay. It is backwards, but it isn't confused. They're not confused about anything. They know exactly what they're doing. They are running around, pointing at normal people who say and do normal things. And
I'm sorry. The facts don't care about your feelings, all right? When you look at the data on this, no, the overwhelming majority of the American population is not, I repeat, obsessed with policing trans people's genitals. They're just not. That's just reality, okay? I mean, if you want to find certain demographics, or maybe even in other countries, right, where you know, countries that are governed by monarchies, for example, maybe they are legitimately concerned with the potential of gender ideology being spread and that kind of stuff. But I'm sorry, Matt, not in America. Not in, you know, God's green earth America. No, I'm sorry. There's just too much freedom. Too much freedom.
Snickering about how weird it all is, because the whole point is to rebrand normalcy as somehow objectionable. They want to make normal people feel weird about being normal.
You know what's a little bit sad about that is that, like, it is a profoundly isolating thing to grow up and never see, like, the kind of, you know, love or what your idea of love is represented in, like, film, TVs, movies, and can feel very isolating sometimes. And then just having, like, a little bit more of representation in movies. Not a lot, a little teeny sample, little crumb, little lesbian kiss, you know, in Lightyear. So there's that. We've got a little lesbian kiss there. Little character in the back of the Star Wars, you know, who's another little lesbian kiss there. The only acceptable, you know, performance of sexuality for straight audiences is two attractive women kissing. It is true. So we get a little lesbian. Edited out for alternative markets, but it's there. Little representation through some characters. You can sometimes pick pronouns. Modern day California shit. Fucking pronouns. You know, you can do that. A little bit of representation. Some black characters. Some. One or two indigenous characters, a little more representation, mainstream films, superhero movies, that kind of stuff. Predator, okay, this is cool, a little bit. But that's it, and that alone to the Matt Walshes of the world is just like, this is indoctrination. They are trying to force the children to be gay. Look at them indoctrinating. This is grooming, literal grooming, Disney groomers. Like, oh my God. Well, yeah, once again, to everyday normal people, that's weird. That's weird to just be sweaty and angry and just, no, gay people cannot marry. I won't allow it. Why, are you gay? No! Why do you care? What does this have to do with you? Why do you want to take away their rights? You're not gay. I don't get it. You seem very obsessed with the thing that you're not.
They have no argument to make against us, no way to debunk our points, no position they can articulate. So instead, they take a more visceral approach. They figure that if they can point and laugh at us, they can, through sheer mockery and peer pressure, make us believe that normalcy is grotesque and bizarre. And then they hope that we will flee the norm.
No, you fuck. It's just that, hey, by the way, other people existing should be allowed to do that. That's it. You don't have to like drag shows. You don't have to enjoy it. You don't have to go. You don't have to go to the gay clubs. You don't have to go to the parade. You can stay away from all of it. In fact, that sounds awesome. I would like to keep it that way. But other people should be able to. That's it. Other people should be able to enjoy life just like you. You can't take it away from them. It's not like, no, they're trying to make it appear as if it's normal, as if it's okay to be gay. Yeah, motherfucker, it is. Just because you're so fucked up, you have the whole thing like upside down. To you, it seems like indoctrination. Existence is indoctrination to the Matt Walshes of the world, right? Just queer folk existing is enough to be like, they're trying to turn us all into gay, I see it. And I'm like, no, this is just people existing.
Normal thing, and embrace its opposite, embrace what is actually weird, because we'll be so confused at that point that we won't see it as weird. If their strategy works, then we will feel weird for thinking, for example.
It is working. The woke mind virus is spreading. Yes, in more ways than one. Yep, and I'm sorry. It's spreading too fast. And there's too many messengers, you know? A lot of hard bodies, too. I mean, they're getting the message out there every single day, and people are just like, oh my God, you know, look at Hassan playing basketball. What am I to do now?
That women are female. And by default, we will embrace the proposition that women aren't anything in particular and don't actually exist. An idea that is, among other things, very, very weird. But we will accept it so that we will not be called weird. That's the plan. And we must admit, it can be...
Even this weird conspiracy is weird as fuck. Even when he's trying to explain the weird, he's weird.
Extremely effective. There's something, again, visceral about it. It plays on the psyche of the average person. I mean, think of it this way. Imagine that you took just the average...
This is not complex. You're just sickos. That's it. Sickos. Wash your hands. You gross fucks. Fucking goddamn it. Learn how to do your laundry. He doesn't know how to clean his own underwear. He's so profoundly weird and gross. Oh my God.
Put him in a room with 20 other people and gave him a basic first grade arithmetic exam. How long would it take for the 20 other people to berate and harangue that one guy into no longer believing, or at least pretending to no longer believe, that 2 + 2 = 4? Imagine that he wrote 4 as the answer to that math question, and every other person in the room turned to him and said, really? You think the answer's 4?
It's so weird.
Some kind of weirdo?
I'm glad. I'm glad I started a global movement.
Seriously? Why are you so obsessed with the number 4? What's with your 4 obsession?
Well, I don't know. If it really seemed like he wanted to fuck it, I would be like, that's kind of weird. I'd be like, why can't you talk about the number 4 without trying to put your dick in it? It's weird. Like, I really, you give off that energy.
You weirdo. Why did you write 4? What are you, in some kind of cult or something? It says 4. 4.
Even though, like, are you trying to JD Vance the number 4? What are you doing?
That's just weird.
I genuinely, you know, you're giving off vibes that you want to fuck the number 4. Keep this man away from all things Sesame Street. He cannot see an anthropomorphized number 4. If they have hands or arms, it's over. It's over. Matt Walsh will fuck it.
Cringe.
Keep those puppets away from him.
How long before he starts questioning his own understanding of elementary school arithmetic? How long before he forfeits mathematical truth just to make the harassment stop? How long before he actually convinced?
That is so profoundly strange. Again, to think that you can just, like, you're getting bullied into believing science? Science? You can also choose not to believe that shit, but it's weird. If you're a flat earther, and then people are like, oh, by the way, the earth is round. How do we know that? Well, shadows. Yeah, it would be profoundly weird if that person was still, like, walking around trying to, like, you know, talk about other topics, control and police people's healthcare, you know, advocate on the behalf of people whether or not they should have bodily autonomy. I wouldn't want that. I don't want to live in that world. When you're like, there's 3 states of matter. Actually, we lied to you. There's more. It's like, no, fuck that noise. I'm sticking to the 3. All right, it's easy. Water. We know it's a liquid, but then when it gets all coldsies, it turns a little solid. When it gets all hotsies, turns a little bit gassy. So it makes sense. Three states. We're staying there. Staying in fucking grade 2 for the rest of my life. Like, just swimming in the ignorance, just enjoying it, the bliss.
This is himself. That 2 plus 2.
We're always gonna get to plasma eventually.
Doesn't equal 4.
Plasma is the deep state, actually. That is true. That we know this through science and testing.
Now, we'd like to think that nobody could be berated into denying something as basic and obvious as that. We'd like to think that. But our recent experience in this culture proves otherwise. People, for the most part, are suggestible and non-confrontational and prone to insecurity. And they just want to get along without drawing too much attention to themselves.
They know. They know they're in their own world, that they're isolated in that own world, and that they are profoundly strange and sick to others, because this very concept, this idea that he's painting right now, wouldn't exist otherwise. Where it's like, doesn't it sometimes feel like they're all just trying to peer pressure you into being accepting and to thinking that all people should actually like have equal rights? Isn't that, it's kind of weird how they bully you and they try to make you feel and believe things that just aren't true, like 2 plus 2 equals 5? Isn't that what they're doing, right? Like, that wouldn't be a thing unless you knew that your ideas were profoundly grotesque to the majority of the populace, right? And again, you've been just going down that road so hardcore, almost to the point of like, it really seems like this is like some kind of weird sexual fetish or something. Either way, that like non-stop, just going to town on the number 4.
These are all things that can be, and so often are, exploited. That's what this weird campaign is all about. And it's why the non-weird among us, the actually non-weird, the normal, need to stop bowing to it.
Oh man, yeah. They can't liberal tier themselves out of this one. This is unfortunately something they're just going to get more profoundly weird about, and then there's nothing they can do. I actually love it. It's so wild. We who are normal, we're not weird. You're weird. You are the ones who are weird. It's like, oh, sorry. You have no power here. I am weird. I'm weird as fuck. I'm the good weird motherfucker. The one who wants to, not oppress everybody. You're the weird, the gross weird, the sick weird, the fucking disgustingly, weirdly, sexually obsessed weird. Yeah, that's y'all. I mean, yeah, it comes across very strongly, especially these days. For number 4.
Instead, we need to start, we need to say to these weirdos calling everyone else weird.
Yeah.
That you are today.
You are the weirdos.
Cancel. If you'd like to see what else I have to...
Canceled! Le Epic! Damn, where'd you find this?
Secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.